So as you all know, a couple of days ago World Superstars came out, and the two most expensive and hyped cards in it are Star Seraphs Sovereignty and Star Seraphs Scepter. And there's a very good reason for this, because they are very good. I mean, the OCG when they came out, many top decks used them, like Shadows and Tellarknights. I mean, I'm not doubting that they're very good, because they have amazing effects. Scepter is basically a Stratos, and it gives any 3 or more material that exceeds its use in a free pop and draw effect, and Sovereignty is like a Super Kageto Kage for Star Seraphs, because it special summons itself and you normal special summon a Star Seraph and you draw a card, and if that is a Star Seraph you can special summon that monster. But it can only be used in 3 material or more Exceeds monsters. But I'm not doubting that it's very good to have have them as light materials in, say, Shadows, but a friend of mine raised a very good point, and this is the title of the video. Is it worth using the Star Seraphs in Tellarknights? Now, you may think, well, this is an obvious answer. Of course it's useful. I mean, they have such plussing ability. Like, if you open right, you can go +3 or 4 with them. Their popping and drawing and searching abilities, they can quite quickly build up a lot of advantage for you, which you can turn into back row and you can use to stun your opponent. And you may point out also that, as I said earlier, when Tellarknights use them in the OCG, then they topped and were very powerful decks. But my question is this: do they really add enough to make up the fact that they cause a drop in consistency? Because although they did top in the OCG when they came out, the TCG metagame at the moment is very different to the OCG metagame when they came out. I mean, new challenges hadn't even come out when they were released, which brought with the Cliff Orcs, or Secret Forces wasn't out, so the Necros weren't a thing. So, although it was very powerful and it did get a lot of wins because of the ability to generate advantage, the decks at the moment rely on consistency more than anything, and Star Seraphs really kind of drop consistency, because if you think about it, if you open a lot of back row and a Sovereignty, you can't do anything with it. You can just set it and have a 2k wall, which is really in this metagame not very good. It slows you down too much and stops you making big plays. I mean, even if you try and go for the big play, you need a Star Seraph Scepter and a Sovereignty to do anything, because if you just open a Star Seraph Scepter, you can just search the Sovereignty and just end, basically, because you're just going to have a dead Sovereignty in your hand. Not only that, I mean, one of the major reasons that Star Seraphs Tellarknights did so well in the OCG was the fact that they still have number 16 Shockmaster. Now, if you don't know what Shockmaster is because you're new to the game or have forgotten what it does, it's basically a 3 material Exceed monster that is a cold wave for anything that you want, really. You can just attach material and call spells. You and your opponent cannot activate spells until your next turn, or monster effects or traps. So if you summon that, say, against Shadows, they can't go into any fusion materials if you call spells. Necros and call spells, they can't summon any ritual monsters. So it's a very powerful stun card, and it can set up and basically win you the game, because if they can't do anything, then you're just sort of generating your advantage and locking them out of anything. If you can get multiple on the field, then you can call monsters and spells and traps, and you can just lock them out of everything, and you can just generate advantage from your Star Seraphs and Tellarknights while they can't, while locking them out of the game, basically, and that's how they used to win. But in the TCG, it's banned, so you can't use it. And that is a very powerful tool that it had, so I don't think that with the current metagame, I don't think Tellarknights should take in Star Seraphs. I mean, they're very powerful. Scepter can run over Denko Sekko, which is okay. But I don't think that Star Seraphs deserve to be as hyped as they are. I don't think they're going to have as big an impact in the metagame as people think. I mean, obviously going to be used in Shadows, and Shadows can use them quite nicely, because generating any sort of advantage in Shadows is quite good, because you can just use it for fusion fodder rather than Exceed material fodder, which is what Sovereignty limits itself with. But yeah, I think people are overestimating their use into Tellarknights at least. So yeah, that's my view. I would really like to hear what you guys think in the comments, and if you like this video, please like, favourite, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you later.